Hello everyone, this is Ravinder Dundra and welcome to my channel. In this video lecture, we will discuss about class 9th CBSE second chapter, that is physical features of India. In the previous lectures, we have already discussed that there are total 6 physical features are there in the country, and in that we have already discussed about this the great Himalayas as well as this northern plains. Now the third most important physical feature of our country is about this Peninsular Plateau. So let us discuss in detail about this Peninsular Plateau. So this Peninsular Plateau is simply can say it is something like a tableland composed of igneous as well as metamorphic rocks. What do you mean by this tableland is that usually all the plateaus they look like this. It means there will be something like they look like a tableland. So this region you can call it as this plateau region. So this Peninsular Plateau, if you look into the map, it is covering almost this particular region, whatever the region I have drawn. So this particular region is we can call it as this Peninsular Plateau. And this plateau, it consists of mainly two broad divisions. That means this entire Peninsular Plateau has been divided into two different parts or two different divisions. What are those? One is Central Highlands, the second one is this Deccan Plateau. So this we will first now discuss about this Central Highlands, which up to which region we call it as this Central Highlands, and up to from which region we call it as this Deccan Plateau. So this Central Highlands are the region lying north of the Narmada river. That means if you can see here, there is a river flowing in this westward direction into this Arabian Sea, that is Narmada river. So whatever the region that is located above of this Narmada region, covering most of this Malwa Plateau. Here there is a plateau region known as Malwa Plateau, and here there is one more plateau known as this Chota Nagpur Plateau. So whatever the region that is lying above this Narmada river, we call it as this Central Highlands. And this if you can see this above this Narmada Plateau, above this Narmada river, you have this Vindhya ranges, we have this Aravali hills, and this Narmada river is also bounded with this Satpura range. So different types of hills are also bounding in this Central Highlands. And the rivers which flow in this region, the rivers which flow in this Central Highlands are this rivers such as Chambal, Betwa, Sindh, Ken, and in which direction they are all flowing is that they are flowing from southwest to northwest. That means from this direction to, that means from this direction they are flowing. That means from southwest to this northwest direction. So what it indicates is that since they are flowing from southwest to northwest, that means from here to here in this region, it indicates that there is a slope on this northwest part of this country. So the next one is that these Central Highlands, they are wider in the western side and narrower in the eastern side. That means if you look into this Narmada river, so this particular region we call it as this Central Highlands. So this Central Highlands, this western part is somewhat looking like a broader or more wider, and as it moves towards this eastern region, it is something like becoming like a narrower. That means becoming small and small. So these Central Highlands are wider in the western side and narrower in the eastern side. Then the next one is that the eastward extension of this plateau is known as Bundelkhand, or sometimes locally it is also known as this Bagelkhand. Eastward extension means this particular region towards the eastern side. So towards this eastern side we call it the eastern extension of this Peninsular Plateau, Central Highlands. It is known as this Bundelkhand, or sometimes we also call it as this Bagelkhand. And here the Chota Nagpur Plateau is also there, which marks or which shows the easternmost region of this Central Highlands. So this is about this Central Highlands. Central Highland means what it is? The region which is lying above this Narmada river, where it covers the most of this Malwa Plateau, Chota Nagpur Plateau, and it is also bound with different hills such as Aravali hills in the northern west part, Vindhya ranges. So like this region is covered. So this region we call particularly as this Central Highlands. So now let us discuss what is this Deccan Plateau, which part of this region we call it as this Deccan Plateau. Let us discuss about the other part of this Peninsular Plateau, that is Deccan Plateau. So from which area we call it as this Deccan Plateau is that the region that is lying towards the southern region of this Narmada river. That means suppose here this Narmada river is flowing, the region below this Narmada river we call it as this Deccan Plateau. As I told, the above region, the region above this Narmada river towards the northern part of this Narmada river we call it as this Central Highlands, whereas below this Narmada region we call it as this Deccan Plateau. So that is what the region that lies to the south of river Narmada. And the next one is that it is a triangular landmass. That means this landmass, this Deccan Plateau, it looks something like a triangular landmass. That means the shape of this Deccan Plateau is something like a triangle shape. Then the next one is that this Deccan Plateau is higher in the western and slightly sloping towards this eastern side. That means here the height of this Deccan Plateau in the western side it is somewhat high, whereas compared to this eastern side, that means the slope is something like this. That means here on the western side it is high, on the eastern side it is very somewhat it is showing some slope. So that means it looks like this. The Deccan Plateau looks somewhat higher in the western side and somewhat slope towards this eastern side. And this extension of this plateau, that means this plateau is also extended towards this northeastern part of India. So that is what here they mention. The extension of the plateau is also visible in the northeastern region, and that means this plateau is also extended towards this region, that means towards this northeastern region of this country. And locally here in this northeastern region they call it as this Meghalaya or Karbi Anglong Plateau, or sometimes they also call it as this North Kachar Hills. That means all these hills, Karbi Anglong Plateau, North Kachar Hills, as well as this Meghalaya Hills, whatever are there, they are all extension. That means this Deccan Plateau itself has been extended towards this northeastern part of this country. And some of the prominent hills in this region from west to east are this Garo Hills. These are this Garo Hills, Kasi Hills, as well as this Jaintia Hills. So these are some of the prominent hills that are found in this northeastern part of this country. And about this Deccan Plateau, one more very important thing is that the western boundary of this Deccan Plateau are this Western Ghats, and the eastern boundary of this Deccan Plateau are this Eastern Ghats. So now let us discuss about this Eastern Ghats as well as Western Ghats. But before that, let me again say that the region which is lying towards the south of Narmada river, we call it as this Deccan Plateau. It is in the shape of triangle, and it is also extended towards this northeastern region, which we call it as this Meghalaya, or sometimes you can also call it as this Karbi Anglong Plateau or North Kachar Hills. Prominent hills which are Garo, Kasi, as well as Jaintia Hills. So now let us discuss about this Western Ghats as well as Eastern Ghats, which forms the western edge as well as the eastern edge of this Deccan Plateau. Let us discuss about this western edges of this Deccan Plateau, which we call it as this Western Ghats. So what are the features of this Western Ghats are that the first and very important thing is that they are continuous. If you look into the map here, if you see, these are Western Ghats which are continuous. That means without having any break till this southern part of this country, they are continuous. That means without any break. And the next one is that these Western Ghats, they are higher than Eastern Ghats. Comparing the heights, when we compare the height of this Western and Eastern Ghats, as I just now mentioned, the slope is towards this eastern side. Therefore you can say that the Western Ghats are somewhat higher than this Eastern Ghats. And average height of this Western Ghats is something around 900 to 1600 meters. Some of the prominent peaks are the highest peaks in this Western Ghats are, one is Anaimudi with a height of 2695 meters, and Doda Betta with a height of 2637 meters. This Anaimudi, this prominent Anaimudi, it is located somewhere here, which is part of this Kerala. And these Western Ghats, they also cause something known as this orographic rainfall. That means the rainfall which is mostly found or which is mainly in the areas of mountains or hills. So these Western Ghats are also one of the cause of, or one of the main reason for this cause of this orographic rainfall. So next we will see about this Eastern Ghats. Let us discuss about this easternmost edge of this Deccan Plateau. What are these easternmost are these Eastern Ghats. So these Eastern Ghats, they are also known as this eastern edge of this plateau, and one of the other important feature is that they are not continuous, they are discontinuous. If you see here, they are not continuous, whereas this Western Ghats, they are continuous from here to here, but here these Eastern Ghats are not continuous, they are divided or broken in between, because they are here some of the rivers are flowing like Mahanadi, Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri, etc., etc. Then the next one is that these Eastern Ghats, they stretch from Mahanadi valley to Nilgiris in the south. That means here this Mahanadi river is flowing from here to here. Here Nilgiri hills are there, so from here to here these Eastern Ghats are extending. Then average height of this Eastern Ghats is, it is somewhere around this 600 meters. Then what is the highest peak? When we have discussed about this Western Ghats, the highest peak is this Anaimudi, and in the Eastern Ghats the highest peak is this Mahendragiri, which is located in this region somewhere here, and with a height of 1501 meters. The average the height of this Mahendragiri, which is the highest peak in this Eastern Ghats. And this Eastern Ghats also contain some of the other famous hills such as Shaura Hills, Javadi Hills, which are located in the southeastern part of this country. And this the famous place such as Ooty is also part of this Eastern Ghats. And in the southeast, the other very important feature of this entire peninsular plateau, about which we have discussed, where we have discussed about Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau, and together this important feature of this peninsular plateau is that it is made up of this black soil, which is very good for our ideal growth for this cotton, and at the same time it is also very fertile. That is why these regions, the peninsular plateau is mostly region highly suitable for this growth of cotton. So with this we have completed about this peninsular plateau. In the next class we will discuss about this coastal islands, deserts, as well as islands. Okay, thank you.